This is a this is a different kind of video. Something a bit more personal. Something a bit more close hold. This video probably gonna be one of my favorite because of what it'll do. Not for views, because my YouTube page is this big, but for who it's for. See, this video is for my father. This video is for you, Dad. Just for you. I want you to truly know what your son thinks. So this past weekend, one of my closest friends lost his father. And the going home ceremony was absolutely beautiful, incredible. And what one of my closest friends said, the elegy, what he said about his father was powerful, was moving, was hopeful, was grateful, was appreciative. I only had one wish, is that I wish his father, and I know his father heard it, but I wish his father could have been present to hear it, to hug him, to truly embrace him. Because in totality of what my friend said, it was a crescendo of magnificence. I can't compete with that. But what I did think at that exact moment was, why do we wait to tell the people that are so important to us how important they are to us? So Dad, I'm making this video for you to talk about how grateful I am for you being the most magnificent and wonderful father. Dad, you've done so much for me. And by just being present and existing and doing what fathers should do. See, this world that I live in is very different from the world that you grew up in. And this world that I go out and engage with, it's a series of paradoxes, a series of misdirection. Because I know that I grew up in the truth, but society spreads the lie. Society is taking the things that I grew up and saw and to know to be true as what a man should be, and is misconstruing it. It's pushing it into this narrative of misogyny or toxic masculinity. And I'm grateful that I got to exist in this environment that was wonderful. Thank you, Dad. The things you showed me. I'm normally a person that could just, that could pontificate about any topic. But when it comes to the depth of what I want to say to you, Dad, I lose my words. I fall off because it's just feelings of gratefulness, of love, of appreciation, of everything that you gave me, that you gave our family. So some of the best moments, Dad, you remember as a kid, elementary school, you would come by and have lunch with me. We'd eat lunch in your truck, and you bring these little personal pan pieces I swore I was a Ninja Turtle. I would love these personal pan pizzas. It was the best thing in the world. And as an adult, those moments as a child, to just be back in that place, to be able to remember it and transport myself was fantastic. But see, the moments that you shared with me, the effort that you went out, and it's something, I know a lot of people was like, it's just a personal pan pizza, you know? Nah, you missed the point. See, my dad put in work to support his family. Not the work that people do nowadays, like work. See, my dad, he would work 12-hour shifts, 18-hour shifts, 20-hour shifts to make sure that he could support his family. So those days when he would come by and have a pizza, you know, I wouldn't see him again until like the next day because he was working. And not office work, not PowerPoints, not documents and presentations, and Excel sheets. My dad worked with his hands. He repaired machines. Labor, hard work. And I am so grateful he gave me that example of someone that would go and get to work. That's why the fire burns in me so bad, because I had an example of what a man should do to provide, to take care, to grow, to get shit done. And it's like, man, I can't even. You know, I told Prahim about the fact that I was gonna do this video, and he was like, Horace, you better talk that truth. He knows like I'm a consultant, so the verbiage I choose to use is indicative of ensuring that I can continue to generate revenue. But in this video, this is personal. So I gotta speak on what I've seen. In this day and age, society lies. I know these lies because I grew up in a household where there was truth. I saw my father work. I saw him provide. I saw him take care of me and my mom and my sisters. I witnessed this. There were periods where my mom chose to stay home with me. And my father worked and provided and took care. And we ate and we enjoyed and we were merry. Like, it was this example was the reason why I am the way I am. The reason why sometimes the narratives that society will push into this direction, I don't necessarily fit in. I push back. I don't want nothing to do with it. Right? See, I grew up seeing and understanding the traditional values. Thank you, Father. You showed me the details of care. And I think you guys are like, oh, going and doing all these things. Let me talk my stuff about my father for a little bit. Let me talk about the example. See, to this day, whenever I go home, my father is probably one of the most joyfulest people I know. He's happy. Just happy. And he's so caring. And he's so kind. See, these are the traits of manhood. He's protective. Son, be safe. Make sure you fasten your seatbelt. He still tells me to this day, I am 39 years old. Make sure you fasten your seatbelt. Did you tie your shoe? Make sure you brush your teeth. Caring, thoughtful. And what do we say? Because you never know who you run into. You don't want to have no stinky breath. To this day, my dad will be up early, make breakfast. And my mom and my father, they are going on 53, 54 years of marriage. My dad still, to this day, makes my mother breakfast, makes me breakfast when I'm home. He's the breakfast king. Breakfast sandwiches, pancakes, it is delicious. But that's caring, that's thoughtfulness, that's compassion. Like, There's so many things that you can learn from speakers. Great speakers are out there. Fantastic self-help books. I've read a plethora of them. I am an avid reader. But what you can't get from a book is what society is missing, and that's that guidance that a father will give his son, not by telling, but by showing. And what my dad showed me, it is the core of my existence. The intent of what hard work is, tirelessly. What selflessness is. What humbleness is. People look around for great men. I had the opportunity to see one every single day. Every moment of my childhood. The engagement, the presence. I remember the days where we went and threw the baseball around outside. I remembered that. I should have stuck with baseball. I probably could have been a pro. But of course, I had to go play basketball because, I grew up in the Jordan era. My dad's a Lakers fan, so I had to talk that smack. MJ the Great. First championship was against who? Lakers, get out of here. But I remember everything. I remember playing basketball with my dad so many times on so many places in different countries, just playing. By the time my parents had me, they were professional parents. See, I know everyone thinks like, oh, he comes from this it's probably a privileged family. No. Let me be clear with you. I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, not foodie Richmond that exists today. That's a different Richmond that has transformed and been gentrified. The Richmond I grew up in was number 3. It wasn't number 3 in prosperity. It was number 3 in murder. That's the Richmond I grew up in. My parents stuck together through thick and thin, had their first collective set of children, not 1 but 2, by the time my mother was 16. Pulled themselves out of the projects through hard work and labor, no handouts. So when I sit back and I see today's society and how they paint men, because let's be clear, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, there is a problem. Why is it that in almost every other film, there's a specific agenda? Why is it that men are painted with this idiocracy of stupidity? As if this is the formalized standard of man. Why is it that men are just... Why is it that men are disposable? Why is it that there's this narrative that a strong woman has to come and save the man from himself? See, it's supposed to be a collaboration. But hold on now, let me not become offensive by talking about specificity of roles. As if when you're playing a sport, not everyone has a role that they're supposed to play. As if I didn't grow up seeing Michael Jordan and his Chicago Bulls and everyone had a role to play. You didn't see Dennis Rodman taking fadeaways. You didn't see Steve Kerr posting people up. Everyone had a role, but why is it now that roles are so bad? I grew up seeing roles. Seeing my father go and do what needed to be done. No complaints. Probably was tired. I get tired from working 9-10 hours on the computer. Computer work! Oh no! I can only imagine what it was like to be on your feet for 17, 18, 19 hours. evaluating machines and machinery and making sure that everything was operating as it should be, and when it doesn't, using problem-solving techniques while still on your feet to ensure. What happened to us as a generation? The standard changed. And they'll tell you that it's men's fault. And I'm like, nope. I grew up in a house with a real man. I got a great example. I saw what diligence meant, what preparedness meant. I got a chance to see that firsthand. I got to see how my father treated my mother, still sees how my father treats my mother. The level of care. And I just want to say, Dad, thank you. Thank you so much. Every memory, every personal pan pizza, every road trip, every take me to Pine Camp, every basketball moment in the backyard, at the school grounds, every time that you were in the bleachers watching me play, the moment that you came to basketball practice that had to come pick me up in high school because I got a concussion. The moments, all the moments, they blur together. They're happening every time. And I am grateful that I got to experience something so magical that it set me on this path of understanding masculinity when they are trying to assassinate it. When boundaries are now considered misogynistic. When preferences are now considered misogynistic. When sternness is now abuse. Really? I thought this was an in God we trust country. Shall we not talk about the rod? But see, we can't do that nowadays. But thank you, Dad, for beating my ass. I needed those spankings. I remember the stupidity of me as a child. I went into this store and I was gonna steal these pencils. Why? Because I was gonna go pencil fight. And now, logically in my head, young engineer brain, I didn't think that these were a good investment to pay for if I were going to break them. And my mother saw me. I'm not gonna exactly repeat what she said to me at that moment, but Mom, I remember exactly what you said. It's part of the story, but it's not appropriate for YouTube. And she took the pencils and she threw them down. She said, all right. And she left it. She sat. And we went home. And since my father worked long hours and he was working overnight, he was not there yet. And we ate dinner, me and my mother. And then my father came home. I was already in bed. And I heard some whispering, but I couldn't make it out and I was dozing off and went to sleep. The next morning, I felt the covers move. But I was half sleeping. I thought maybe I was dreaming. But what I felt next was not a dream. My dad lit my ass up for trying to steal some pencils. The course correction was necessary. He let me have it with that belt. I remember it. And I remember my mom in the background like a hype man. That's what you get. Don't you be going out here embarrassing us, stealing. That's what you get. I remember the hype man thing. She had the hype man hands. She had the... I don't know if you ever seen like a good rapper back in the day when people actually rapped and they had all these hype men around them and they would just be in the background. That was my mom. My dad would say, he was like, son, this hurts me more than it hurts you. And in my head at that exact moment, I was like, no, you beating the shit out of me. It doesn't hurt you. And after I received my discipline, he said, now wipe your face off. It's time for breakfast. See? Required. Because what happens next, I go to breakfast, we eat as a family, but I moved differently from that point forward. There won't no stealing. I want no parts of that. Period. I didn't want, I could be friends try to tempt you. Hey man, we about to get some candy. Oh no, bro. My mom gave me $2. I will get $2 worth, and that's it. Because I feel like if I tried to even think or consider or contemplate taking another piece of candy and putting it in my pocket, my dad was gonna pop out of nowhere and beat my ass. Where is that ass whipping now? Oh no, nowadays you need to go and talk to your child and make sure you reason with them and make sure they understand the ramifications of their actions, and that if, what bad things can happen if they stay that course. And then you wonder why these people, these crotch fruit, are rude, disrespectful, and burdened with purpose of incarceration. Because they ain't have nobody to beat that ass at a young age to set it right. Thank you, Dad. I needed that. It got me right. Morality had to be... I need that tune-up. I remember that. Woo! I always tell myself, if I ever have kids, I'm saving that one. You heard it here first. Let my kid do some stupid shit, and I'm gonna use the waking beat because it's powerful. And you can't use it for everything. You gotta save it for the exact moment. And I feel like they just knew this was the moment. They knew. It was like, this is the moment where we need to make sure we set our son, this little black boy who will already get prejudged by the color of his skin, making sure that he don't do nothing stupid to confirm what someone may have already thought about him. Thank you. I needed that correction. That was sensational. Whew. So many stories. Oh my gosh. I remember my dad, me being in the car with a driver's permit and joking, making me feel more comfortable about my uneasiness behind the wheel. Oh my gosh. It's so many moments, so many times, so many days, so much privilege. And that's what really is so humbling. Because I can sit here in this place of privilege because my closest friends, they sit in the same place of privilege because they got a chance to see real men in their households too. But then when you go out into the world and you have that lens that you're looking through with the expectation that everyone saw what you saw, and then you start to engage with people, you realize they didn't, and then they move differently, oddly. Because you're like, why are you doing those things? You don't know how the dynamics are supposed to work? Like they didn't see that. And it's like, oh, then how do you explain? It's impossible. How do you get them aligned? I don't know. I just know that it goes to the point where I had this analogy. I was like, I'm trying to show you the importance of the masculinity, the importance of the true male, and how beneficial it is. It's the equivalent of me showing you how you can use the oven, but all you know is the microwave. I'm trying to teach you how to bake, make something delicious, but all you know is to pull the foil back and tat, 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 and throw it in the microwave and give it a 60 seconds, 2-minute sprint, and then wonder why nothing lasts. You ain't put the foundational ingredients to bake it up. But see, I saw the baking. Yeah, I got a chance to witness it firsthand. Oh my goodness. My dad still jokes with me to this day. He talks about him being married to my mother for 50 plus years. It's the irony of it, right? He's, son, because he's saying it joking, son, don't do it. Your mama, she be getting me crazy. She drive me crazy sometimes. And my mom be doing some things. I be laughing. She be picking with him a little bit. But it's the playfulness that has endured over a half a century. It's the moments, the example they still give me. Still dating. Still traveling, planning, loving. Still enjoying each other. Because you go out into the social medias, on the Instagrams, and you'll have the false narrative. Oh, marriage is so much work for the woman. Oh my God. What do? You do all the cleaning. and all the chores and all the. And my question is, weren't you're an adult. You gotta clean your clothes anyway, don't you? You gotta wash the dishes anyway, don't you? You gotta clean the toilet anyway, don't you? What is what this mean? It's the false narrative. And then you get stuck alone, and then I don't have that thing. Yeah, that thing is the thing that men will bring, the thing that real men provide, that ability to relax. That's what's invaluable. Oh, and you think, oh, well, I can't relax if I'm cleaning. I can't relax if I gotta clean the toilet. I can't relax if I gotta cook. In the comparison to what? To you doing all those things, plus trying to ensure that you keep a roof over your head, your utilities paid for, plus trying to ensure, like, what else? You serious? That's wild to me. It is wild, but it exists. The false narrative. Dad, I'm telling you, I seen it. I'm telling you, Dad, it's crazy. I be sitting up here like, they don't get it. And then it's the modern woman syndrome. The false claims, oh, I want a leader, but I only want them to lead me in the things I want to be led in. You don't want a leader. Don't lie to yourself, because real men see that and be like, oh, I'm good. Use a headache, a beautiful headache. And you know what that means? It's unfortunate, but that's a no-no, because no one wants to deal with a headache. Dad, you've given me all the tools to allow me to know what I need to do. The strength of unflinching, unyielding masculinity. The courage to stand on that manhood, root to the bros. Stand on that manhood regardless of what society will say, regardless of when you set boundaries and the ignorant tell you, who hurt you? Because boundaries are unheard of. They don't understand them. They don't get it. And it's not for me to explain. But thank you, because if I didn't have the assurance of knowing what I know and seeing what I saw, I may have gone into this world a bit confused. I may have tried to reason with myself, well, maybe I should do. No, I will not. There are certain aspects of me that will not change because they're rooted in truth. Absolute truth. The kindness, the compassion is there, but the sternness is as well. And that aggregation, that humility but disciplined, that caring but accountable, that protective, that is everything, especially in this world, when they will try to flip-flop you, try to demonize manly strength to the point where they want you to consider your identifications. So thank you, Dad. I appreciate this education that you have given me, that you continue to give me from each conversation, from each demonstration, from the caring moments, the compassion, the relentlessness of joy. It is my greatest honor, my most prestigious privilege to call you my father. And I am grateful to be the third, because this is a generation, a long line of real men that just do men things in a world where being a man can be demonized, it doesn't matter to us because this is the way we are. I love you, Dad. Through and through. Every day, every moment, every second. And the reason that I keep pushing forward, because it makes me happy to make you proud. That's why I don't get tired. I don't veer the course. I set the next objective, the next milestone, the next goal. And I'm going to keep setting the next objective, the next milestone, the next goal, the next thing to accomplish, the next task, the next project, the next dream, the next hope. No matter what people say to me, no matter how they will try and sway, I am unyielding because my Father is.